Court Fingering at the Guesthouse Trilogy, written by Vixen, narrated by T.K. Love.
Caught Fingering at the Guesthouse, Book 1. "Geez, can't I just stay at home?" Alicia complained in an exasperated voice. The 18-year-old girl stood staring at her parents as they sat on the couch. Her mother closed her eyes, but the older woman tried to stop her annoyance from showing as she opened them again to look at her daughter as she spoke. "You always loved coming away with us on our weekend trips before, Alicia," she said. "Why the sudden change of heart?" "Mom, I'm 18 now," Alicia replied, the exasperated tone remaining in her voice. "I'm surely old enough to be left on my own. It's not like I'm going to go wild or anything just because you're not here." She turned to look at her father as he joined in the conversation. "Look, Alicia," he started, "we're just not comfortable with leaving you on your own. We would much prefer for you to come with us. You'll have fun." Alicia looked from her father to her mother and back again. Her expression showed that the idea of a trip with them was the furthest thing from fun she could think of. She could see in their faces that they were determined not to let her stay on her own at home, though. The teen girl really would have preferred to spend some time with her friends during the upcoming weekend, but realized that she would be wasting her time by continuing to complain. She resigned herself by accompanying her parents on the trip and let out a sigh. "Fine," she said, almost through gritted teeth. "I'll come with you." "Great. Well, that's settled," her mother said, ignoring the obvious annoyance of the teen girl. Alicia's parents always had been the conservative and worrying type, and she came to the conclusion that this was unlikely to change anytime soon. She'd convinced herself that when she turned 18, things would change and she would have a little more freedom, but if anything, the situation had become worse. Her parents seemed to worry about her friends, boys, sex, and anything else they could think of that might affect their only daughter. Alicia loved her parents, but they drove her to despair at times, and not getting to stay home alone was one of them. She finally turned to leave the lounge, silently cursing the fact that she would be making the trip with her parents. She hoped she would be able to do her own thing during the weekend and not join them too much on their outings, but finally decided not to worry about it and just see what happened. On the Friday evening, Alicia heard her mother shouting up the stairs that it was time to get moving. The teenage girl picked up her bag, went down to the lounge, and joined her parents as they walked out to the car. The inn they were staying at was around a 4-hour drive from their home, and it was almost 9 o'clock when they finally pulled into the driveway. "This looks really nice," Alicia's mother said as they got out of the car. "I guess so," the teen girl answered. The country cottage-style building did look pretty, although it appeared to be in the middle of nowhere, and as Alicia looked around she could see only open fields around it. "Geez," she thought, "doesn't look like there's much to do around here." She turned at the sound of the front door of the property being opened. A pretty woman smiled at her, and Alicia smiled back. The woman looked to be in her late 30s and probably around twice Alicia's age, but her smile was nice, and the teen girl was surprised at the flicker of arousal she felt at the sight of the pretty face. Before the woman spoke, a man followed her out of the door. He looked to be much the same age as the woman, and Alicia was impressed by his muscular physique. Her sense of arousal grew at the sight of the handsome older man, although it all but disappeared at the sudden sound of her mother's voice saying hello. "Hi," the pretty woman replied. "I'm Josie, and this is my husband, Lucas." Alicia's father greeted the couple and introduced his family, following which he went to get the bags from the car, while Josie showed Alicia and her mother inside the property. The owner of the inn chatted pleasantly as she led them to their rooms, and the two men finally caught up carrying the bags. The couple helped Alicia's parents settle into their room and then showed the teen girl to hers. Alicia felt a little unnerved as the flicker of arousal returned to her body when she was alone with the couple in her room, but they quickly showed her where everything was and left. She unpacked her belongings and then returned to her parents' room. They were already planning their next day's activities and asked her to come along. She decided to pass, giving the excuse that she just wanted to relax for the day and that she would join them on their Sunday outing. Her parents didn't argue, and after chatting for a little longer, Alicia finally went back to her own room. Looking at her watch, she saw that it was almost 10 o'clock and decided to have a shower and then just go to bed. After drying herself, she put on a short nightdress, got under the covers, and it wasn't long before her eyelids drooped and sleep claimed her. The sunshine streaming through the curtains woke Alicia, and she yawned and stretched. The bed was comfortable, and she was in no hurry to get up. By the time she got around to looking at her watch, she
Sample complete. Ready to continue?